Ababil. Friends, Rafale has always been a story of Modi's corruption. Ordinary people in Pakistan might not remember, but those who follow the news would know that when India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced the purchase of 36 Rafale fighter jets from France, his decision was labeled in India as being based on personal preferences and dislikes and as unprofessional and lacking in merit. Along with this, serious allegations of corruption were also made. The Rafale fighter jet deal between India and France in 2016 was not just a defense transaction, but it also raised several important questions regarding India's defense policy and industrial self-reliance and political transparency. This deal was a modification of an earlier plan, which gave rise to numerous controversies, allegations of corruption, and suspicions, especially regarding the roles of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and businessman Anil Ambani. The 1919 Kargil War forced the Indian Air Force to reassess its capabilities. During this war, the unsatisfactory performance of the old MiG-21 aircraft highlighted the need for modern and multi-role fighter jets. The IAF developed a plan for a medium multi-role combat aircraft, aiming to acquire aircraft capable of air defense, ground attack, and deep strike operations in enemy territory in all weather conditions, both day and night. In 2007, the Congress-led UPA government issued a global tender to purchase 126 aircraft. 6 companies participated in this, including the French company Dassault, which manufactures the Rafale. In 2012, after technical and experimental evaluations, this company was selected. According to the agreement, 18 aircraft were to be delivered in ready-to-fly condition, while the remaining 108 were to be manufactured in India by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, which also included a transfer of technology. However, there was a delay in negotiations over the details of the agreement, especially regarding the warranty for the aircraft manufactured by HAL. India wanted Dassault to provide a warranty for these aircraft, but the company refused. In addition, the cost of the agreement kept increasing, and by 2014 it had reached $30 billion. In 2014, according to DNA Media, India's plan to acquire 126 Rafale fighter jets from the French company Dassault Aviation for $18 billion, which amounts to 90,000 crore Indian rupees, faced severe difficulties on D, because just 2 years after the agreement, the prices of the jets had doubled. The purchase of the medium multi-role combat aircraft, which was India's largest defense procurement, saw the price of each aircraft rise from $60 to $65 million in 2012, which is 373 to 400 crore rupees, to as much as $120 million by the end of 2013. Yeah, this meant that the price of a single jet had reached as high as 740 crore rupees. In comparison, the Eurofighter Typhoon, which was considered the more expensive aircraft at the time and was the second contender, had initially quoted a price of $80 to $85 million per aircraft. According to DNA, at that time, the entire Rafale project now could have cost India between 28 to 30 billion dollars, that is 1.75 to 1.86 lakh crore rupees, which was 100% higher than the initial estimates. As the general elections approached, the office of the then Indian Defense Minister hesitated to approve the increased costs. The Indian Air Force, which wanted to induct these aircraft to replace the aging MiG-21s, was facing a serious operational crisis. In 2014, only 30 out of its 45 squadrons were operational, while the rate of retirement was higher than the rate of new inductions. According to the original 2012 agreement, 18 fully built Rafale aircraft were to be imported, while the state-owned company Hindustan Aeronautics Limited (HAL) was to manufacture 108 aircraft under license. However, prolonged negotiations and technical disagreements over the terms of local production indefinitely delayed the signing of the agreement. At that time, a senior IAF official had said that these aircraft were supposed to become our backbone for the next 40 years, filling the gap between the Sukhoi 30 and the Tejas. This delay did not offer any immediate solution to the crisis facing our squadrons. In April 2015, during his visit to France, Prime Minister Narendra Modi suddenly announced that India would purchase 36 Rafale aircraft in flyaway condition, meaning all the aircraft would come fully built from France. This decision was made without consulting Parliament, the Cabinet, the Committee on Security, or the Air Force. As a result of this change, the technology transfer agreement was cancelled, meaning that India would not be able to manufacture these aircraft itself. Hindustan Aeronautics Limited was sidelined. The prospects of manufacturing Rafale aircraft locally in India were eliminated, and there was a significant increase in cost. Each aircraft ended up costing almost twice as much. If we look at Anil Ambani's role in this, under Indian law, Dassault, the company manufacturing the Rafale, was required to select an Indian company as an offset partner, so that 50% of the contract amount would be spent on investment within India. The purpose of this was to promote the local defense industry, achieve self-reliance, and create employment opportunities. Dassault chose Anil Ambani's newly established company, Reliance Defence, as its partner instead of Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. Even though this company had no experience in defense or defense manufacturing, whereas Hindustan Aeronautics Limited had extensive expertise in this field. It was founded in 1940 in Bangalore under the name Hindustan Aircraft. After independence, it became the country's leading defense company. Initially, it manufactured aircraft designed by other countries, but in 1960, it built its first indigenous aircraft, the HF-24. Later, it also produced Russian MiG-21s, British Jaguars, and Russian Su-30 aircraft. Pakistan's PAF Kamra complex was also established in 1971 with Chinese assistance, modeled after Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. And today, the Pakistan Air Force is reaping its benefits. In 2001, HAL developed the Tejas, a fully Indian-designed fighter jet. Today, it is also working on the country's most modern helicopters, such as the Dhruv training aircraft and future projects. This is an important company of the Government of India and a key pillar of the country's air defense. Modi's opponents allege that the government pressured the French company Dassault to select Reliance as its partner. Congress and Rahul Gandhi repeatedly accused Modi of favoritism. French journalists also later reported that Dassault was under pressure from the Indian government. In 2018, petitions were filed in the Indian Supreme Court against this deal, but the judges refused to intervene. However, in 2021, France officially launched investigations into corruption and fraud. The ongoing investigation in France also raised questions about the role of the Ambani Group and political pressure behind the deal. The Indian government also refused to cooperate with the French investigation. Technically, the Rafale aircraft certainly meet the needs of the Indian Air Force, but the way this deal was renegotiated raised questions about the Modi government. Was this really a necessary and urgent defense decision? Was transparency sacrificed? Did India lose opportunities for technological self-reliance? This deal was a significant turning point for India's defense strategy, industrial development, and political transparency. Its effects and the questions surrounding it are still being debated in Indian politics and defense policy today. After the recent aerial skirmishes between Pakistan and India, not only will the performance of the Rafale be discussed, but also issues of corruption in the Modi government, its connections with Gautam Adani, who is seen as a symbol of global-level corruption, will become political topics. To suppress these, the Indian government might use national security laws. Friends, India's Rafale is becoming like a bone stuck in India's throat. At this moment, even the international media is trolling India badly. The failure of the Rafale is not just a loss for India, but also a sign that India does not have air dominance in South Asia. Modi used to say that if we had Rafale, the story would have been different. Well, the story really has turned out differently. Now, Modi will say that if we had the F-35, the story would have been different. And I don't think America will give the F-35 to India and let the F-35's reputation be tarnished. When Modi became Prime Minister for the first time, people used to say that he was dangerous for Pakistan. Back then, my opinion was that he is not dangerous for Pakistan, but far more dangerous for India itself. He will weaken India from within, and that's exactly what happened. He is making the Hindus there fight against the Muslims. The Sikhs are also angry, and many separatist movements are underway. So I say, let Modi remain the Prime Minister so that there are even more divisions, so that another Pakistan is created. That's all for now. Subscribe for more.